Hello everyone, so we're testing out the Deer Creek muzzle device. Okay, so this is a shielded muzzle brake. Muzzle brake here, shield goes over it. We're going to be testing it out with the 308. Okay, and then you got the little blast holes in the front that direct the noise forward. I already did a video where I put an adapter on this, right? A 1/2 by 28 adapter, and I was comparing it to, let's say, this Core Valley linear comp, which is $35, right? So we got $35 here versus $110 or $115 here, and the Deer Creek only did a little bit better than the $35 Core Valley. Okay, so there was an improvement. The sound was a little bit lower. Okay, the recoil was maybe a tiny bit lower, but in 5.56 there's really very little difference. Okay, in fact, I mean, even when I shoot like just the muzzle brake by itself, and you compare it to the an A2 flash hider, with 5.56, there's just very little difference. Okay, so we're almost splitting hairs there. But what I'm hoping that now is with the AR-10, we're going to see a bigger difference. And the same thing happened with the Badlands. Okay, so I did the same test about a week or two ago with the Badlands. When I had this on the 5.56 gun, I saw very little difference between I saw very little improvement over either the Core Valley or just a flash hider. There was an improvement in the noise, right? But the recoil, really nothing there. So if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. But when I put it on the AR-10, the Badlands made a significant improvement over the flash hider. So today we're going to compare the Deer Creek to the Badlands. Now, in all fairness, Badlands does not market their muzzle device as anything other than like blast forward device. Okay. Now it does have an internal muzzle brake that is actually angled back, and I did ask the company about that, and they said that the point of that is to kind of offset the additional recoil that you would get from directing the blast forward. So they really don't market it as as either a noise reducer or a recoil reducer. However, on the AR-10, I did notice an improvement. So today, we're going to also test out the Deer Creek, okay? And we're going to see how the two compare. Okay, so let's do that now. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire 2 rounds with the Badlands that's on there. I loosened it up, so it's just hand tightened down right now. This way I can do a quick comparison. Hold on, I got to get my earmuffs. Got my earmuffs. Because with this, you gotta have earmuffs on. Okay, so I got earmuffs. I'm not even gonna try and shoot this with the ear cushions. When I was shooting it with 5.56, I was using the ear cushions to test it. So now with the 308, we're gonna use earmuffs. So let's test it out. First, we're gonna fire 2 rounds with the Badlands. So this is a Palmetto AR-10. It does have a heavier buffer weight. It's got a 5.6 out buffer weight, and it also has the orange Springco spring. So it does have some, so that's meant to already reduce the recoil a little bit. We're going to take the Badlands off. So this is, let me take this apart. So this is the muzzle brake. I talked about this in detail in another video. It's a 2-chamber muzzle brake. Normally you would have to time this so that if you're just shooting this with the muzzle brake. Right now we don't care because I intend to shoot this with the shield. Okay, yeah, because I don't want additional noise. Okay, in fact, one of the things I have found is like when I put muzzle brakes on guns, my accuracy actually drops, right? Because the extra noise becomes a distraction. Okay, so you know, I'm better off just shooting it with a flash hider. So I need the shield, otherwise the bird cage, the muzzle brake by itself is not very useful to me. So we're not going to time it right now. We're just going to put it on there. Okay, let's fire 2 shots. Now this is a very smooth table, and when you typically have a bipod on a smooth table like this, it does jump a lot. Because normally what you want to do with the bipod is you want to get prone and you want to lock it, you know, you want to push forward into it, kind of almost locked into position. You can't do that on a table, so usually with the bipod I'll see additional movement. Yeah, it felt like there was a little bit more, recoil reduction. Okay. With the Badlands, it's more open in the front. So yeah, I'm gonna shoot it again. I feel that there was a little bit of an improvement, and with 308. See, here's the thing with 308. This is a gun that I shoot out to 1,000 yards. I've posted videos where with this Palmetto AR-10, I have gotten 1.1 MOA at 1,000 yards. Okay, I think it was like 9 out of 10 shots. So what happens is when you're trying to get on target at like distances like, you know, 700 to 1,000 yards, and especially if you're using different ammunitions from every time you shoot, you have to be able to spot your impacts so that you can adjust, okay? If you get too much recoil, which this gun typically has with just the bird cage on it, I'll take my shot, and a lot of times it'll throw me off target, or too much off target, where I can't spot my impacts. So I'm looking for just a little bit of an improvement there. You know, I just needed to move a little bit less so I can stay on target and be able to spot my impacts so I can make my corrections. Initial impressions is that the Deer Creek kept me on target better. I'm going to shoot this again. Let me do this. Let me go back to the Badlands. Yeah, that rubber that they put on here on Deer Creek, because they put a rubber that's supposed to be like a spacer, that is absolutely useless, man, because that has basically just jumped over this. But that's supposed to be like a spacer that goes in between these two, but that's not working very well at all. I'm gonna go a little further out. I'm gonna go to 150 yards. Let's go back to the Deer Creek. I mean, both of these are better than just the flash hider I had on there. And with an AR-10 shooting a 308, just even a little bit of an improvement will help you spot your impacts and make your corrections. All right, 150 yards. I mean, it's gonna move you off target a little bit, but I mean, I think it's better than the birdie cage that I had. I'm gonna have to Loctite this on because I can see that the shield, just from the 2 shots that I fired, with the rubber washer. Let me bring up the camera. With the 2 shots that I fired, that rubber washer jumps over it, and then the blast shield is just loose. So the solution to this is basically just dump the little rubber washer. That's not helping. And you're going to use a crush washer on the muzzle brake because there's no reason not to time that properly. Okay, this way if we do want to shoot it with just a muzzle brake, I can. And then what I'm going to probably do is just put a little bit of a thread locker, the rock set, just a drop on it to keep the shield from moving. Because what's going to happen is if the shield loosens up, like especially if I'm doing like a 10-round string or something, it is possible for that shield to loosen up and for you to get a strike here around the edge. Okay, but yeah, I'm liking this Deer Creek. I think this is probably as good as we can get until suppressors come out of the NFA, because I don't want to deal with the NFA, and I'm just not doing that. Okay, and I talked about it in the last video. If suppressors come out of the NFA, I'm not going to the suppressor companies to go buy suppressors. I'm going to the companies that make muzzle brakes, and I'm going to see what they have to offer, right? Because I think that, I think that it's just a complete ripoff to pay $1,000 for a suppressor, right? It's a suppressor is nothing more than a muzzle brake with a little extra shit in there, okay? Yeah, I'm definitely going to the muzzle brake company, the shielded muzzle brake companies like Deer Creek and Whip Machinery. And I'm going to see what these guys offer, right? Because I don't think suppressors should cost more than $200. Okay, and I'm not going to pay more than $200 just on principle. I mean, it's just it's a ripoff. Okay, but the other thing is that if suppressors do come out of the NFA, right, and then the question becomes like, okay, what do you do with these muzzle devices that you bought? Well, with this style over here versus what's the bad way? Right, because one of the things if that happens, right, what I think I would like to do is maybe fill in these holes over here and see how that improves it, right? Because I mean, I know it voids the warranty, right? But who gives a shit at that point? It's junk. If you're able to buy suppressors for $200, you're gonna buy suppressors, and you're gonna otherwise throw these in a drawer somewhere. You're not gonna use them. The only of value now that you can't get suppressors. So with the Badlands, it's really hard to go back and fill in all these holes because these holes are big. I mean, I could do it with the welder, but still, that's a lot more work. With the Deer Creek design over here, basically the holes are a lot smaller. You could just take your welder and you could just fill in those little holes around the edge here, and see what it does for you. I mean, I don't know if it will make it quieter or if it will reduce the recoil additionally or the flash additionally. I don't know. But I would definitely experiment with it, especially if I've, got a bunch of other suppressors that I've been able to order after they come out of the NFA. So I would do that, because otherwise it's not going to be very useful to me. So yeah, this is an easy modification to do. Just fill in those little holes, and you could test it out actually by you get like little machine screws, right? Like a bolt. Basically take this apart, run the bolt in through the back, and put like little nuts over here. And see what that does, what effect that has, or if it's going to have any effect, because it may not have any effect. And I don't know what the legality is, and I don't care, because I'm not going to do it. I'm just saying, looking forward, if suppressors come out of the NFA, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like, okay, what am I going to do with this now? That's something to consider. you know, just filling in those little holes there and seeing what it does for you. But yeah, this is gonna go on the AR-10. I kind of like this. And I was, like I said, I was also looking at whip machinery. The thing with whip machinery is that it is longer. Okay, it is also more expensive. It was like $140. Okay, so it's more expensive. It ends up being longer, so I don't know how much of an additional benefit that's going to be. But also the design that has, right? Well, it is a 3-chamber muzzle brake as opposed to the 2-chamber muzzle brake that we have here. I would like Deer Creek to maybe try making a 3-chamber muzzle brake. I would try that. I would get that and try it out. You know, obviously it would be a little bit longer. I'd like to see how that works. But with, as I was saying, with the whip machinery, they got a 3-chamber muzzle brake, and then they got the black shield that comes out, but it doesn't come in like this one does with the little holes. It's just open over there. Well, I don't have one here. It's more open. So with that one, because it's so open, basically you gotta get like a stainless steel washer and put that over the top and weld around it in order to close that up. If suppressors come out of the NFA and you're able to modify these things. Again, I don't know, like I don't know if doing this necessarily makes a suppressor, because let's have a quick discussion about what is a suppressor, right? Because the suppressors are not specifically defined, or silencers as they call them in the NFA. Silencers are not defined by how much noise reduction or how much they actually change the performance of the gun. They just refer to them as silencers. So to me, that makes me say, okay, a silencer is a very specific patented item, right? The same guy that invented the muffler that goes on cars, right, and got a patent for that. He also invented the so-called silencer and got a patent for that. So to me, it's like, unless you're copying that exact design that's in the patent, you're not making a silencer. You're not making a silencer that is referred to in the NFA. Okay, so since NFA doesn't talk about performance, yeah, what's a silencer? Go back to the original patent. Whatever that picture shows, whatever that design is, that is what the NFA covers, and that's it. Okay. However, I'm not in the mood to get into a fight with the government, so I have no intention of doing anything until they come out of the NFA. It's just not worth my time, not worth the hassle, not really, quite honestly, not really worth the benefit, right? Because if it was really worth the benefit, I would have paid the $200 tax stamp. I would have, you know, paid the $1,000 for the, you know, for what they charge. But I don't think it's worth the benefit, so I'm not doing any of that. But for this, for the $120 that it costs to get shipped to my house, yeah, there's a little bit of a benefit here. There's a keeper. All right, we're going to keep this. This is good. All right, so thanks for watching. Drop some comments. Let me know what you guys think. Talk to y'all soon. Hey, everyone. I just finished attaching the muzzle brake with the crush washer, and then I put the blast shield over it, put a little bit of Roxette on it, and I had to re-zero it because there's going to be a slight impact shift anytime you change the muzzle device here. So on this Palmetto 20-inch AR-10, I was showing the Freedom Munitions. I got a nice 4 out of 5 for 1 inch at 100 yards. The 5th shot blew off. That opened up the group to 2 inches, but that's going to sometimes happen. It could have been me, could have been the ammo, whatever. But what I did is I pulled out my 16-inch AR upper. Okay, so they share the same lower. This has the standard A2 flash hider on it. Okay, so I wanted to see how it would compare, which is what this one originally had. And holy shit, man, what a fucking difference. I mean, I'm shooting this thing, and you are with now these Freedom Munitions, they're hot. Okay, these are they are concussing the shit out of me with the bird cage. So these are the 150 grain Freedom Munitions. These are pretty hot loads. They come in at about 2,800 feet per second, a little bit above that, like 2,500 foot-pounds of energy out of the 20-inch barrel. Out of the 16-inch, it comes in somewhere around 2,350 on the energy. So these are pretty hot loads. And using these Palmetto uppers, I've gotten like 1-inch groups a bunch of times. With this 20-inch here, I got 1.10 MOA at 1,000 yards for 9 out of 10. So anyway, I had finished zeroing in the 20-inch, And I said, hey, let's put the 16-inch on here with the bird cage, right, and see how that feels. And man, it is like concussing the shit out of me. It's like, it's not like I'm even feeling it here. I'm feeling it up here, you know, like even with these earmuffs, it's like you feel like you're getting punched in the head, man. What a difference. I'm gonna shoot 5 here and 5 here on the camera. But yeah, it makes a difference. I mean, I tell you guys the truth. After going back to this bird cage, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna want to get another one of these and put on this one. And the nice thing here is that, like with the bird cage, it comes in at like 1 inch and like 3/4, like just underneath 1 inch. I'm sorry, just underneath 2 inches, right? So it's 1 inch and 3/4. It's just underneath like 2 inches. With the Deer Creek muzzle device, I come in at 3 inches. So I'm really only adding like 1 inch, 1 and a quarter to the barrel length. So that's really efficient. You're really getting a lot of you're really getting a lot for that extra inch. Okay, so we're shooting 100 yards. We're gonna shoot 5 rounds of this freedom munition. Let's see how we do. It's a little bit higher. Yeah, so that's like, you can feel it. I mean, it's actually moving my hood. I had to reset my, I had to reset myself here. Let's change uppers. So one of the things, like if you got like a lot of recoil, a lot of felt recoil, and specifically a lot of noise, it's a distraction, you know, and it does throw off the shots. That's one of the reasons why I don't use a muzzle brake, like a plain muzzle brake, because I find that if I have a muzzle brake, I shoot worse with it. I've got snow on my glass, you know. I shoot worse with a muzzle brake than with just a bird cage, just because that extra noise distracts me. So this has the 5.6 ounce Core Valley buffer weight in here, and it has the orange sprinkle spring. So I've already done as much as I could to reduce the recoil, and it also has the adjustable gas block, which I've got it like tuned down to, you know, just enough gas to operate the system. So it's working at like minimal gas. All right, let's see how we do with this. So that's a lot more pleasant to shoot. That's a lot more pleasant to shoot. Yeah, I'm gonna want to get that muzzle device on this. It's just not beating you up, man. You don't feel like you're getting punched in the face. And again, the gun's not impacting. The recoil is down here, and it's not like I'm feeling it here. It's just it's probably more the noise than anything, right? Because the noise is like concussive. So even though it's not hitting you in the head, the sound wave is still kind of like beating you up a little bit. Let me go take a look at that. All right, so I just shot these. Let's look at the one with the bird cage. Okay, so the 16-inch with the bird cage. Now here's the thing: it's shit weather. It's cold. There's snow on the table, so these, these things are not like these blocks I got here. I mean, they're not like super steady. So I have hit 1-inch groups at 100 yards with both of these rifles. So I'm not gonna do that every time. Okay, so with the 16-inch with the bird cage, okay, the group came in at 5 shots, came in at 2.5 inches on this Palmetto AR-10, and usually I take the best 4 out of 5. So if I take the best 4 out of 5, let's see what we got. 2 inches, 2.25 inches if I take the best 4 out of 5. Okay, so on the 20-inch, which has the Deer Creek muzzle device, on the 20-inch, first of all, it was a lot more pleasant to shoot, a lot less concussive. The group also got a little bit tighter just because I was shooting a little bit more comfortable. I actually clicked it I went one click to the left because it looks like they're pulling to the right a little bit. So the total group was 2 inches for the 5 shots. Okay, so the total group was better than the other one. The other one was 2.5. So total group 2 inches. And if I look at the best 4 out of 5, I got 1.5 inches. And like I said, I've hit I've hit 1-inch groups with both of these. I've actually hit inside of 1 inch, like 3/4 of an inch. I don't do it often, but I have hit it using these Palmetto uppers and this Freedom munition. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm pretty happy with this muzzle device, right? Because this adds like 3 inches, and it's pretty compact. Doesn't stick out too much. It's only like 1.25 inches longer than if I had a flash hider on here. This is pretty efficient. This is very efficient, and it's definitely more enjoyable to shoot. And my conclusion, right, is that I want to put that muzzle device on my 16-inch as well. Okay, so I'm not going to take it off that one at some point. I mean, it might take a couple of weeks or whatever, but I'm just going to get another one, and I'm going to put it on here because it produces results. I mean, there's improvement. And here's the thing, like a slight improvement in the noise and the concussion with 308 really increases the enjoyment of shooting it. Okay, so I think it's worth it. So drop some comments, let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to y'all soon. Hey everyone, it's starting to get dark, so I want to do a muzzle flash test. I'm just curious what it looks like. So I'm going to test both the Deer Creek in the 20-inch and also the flash hider in a 16-inch, and we'll just compare and see what it looks like. So first I'll do the Deer Creek. So this is the Deer Creek. From my perspective, from my position, I couldn't see anything. No muzzle flash. I gotta change the uppers. Okay, so this is the flash hider now. The 16-inch with the flash hider. So, from my perspective, as the shooter, with the 16-inch, I could see muzzle flash. Okay, now again, it's a 16-inch barrel, so we're not comparing apples to apples. At some point, I think I want to get a Deer Creek muzzle device on the 16-inch as well, and then we'll test it out again. But on the 20-inch, when I was shooting that, there was no muzzle flash, okay? But I could see from my perspective. We'll see what the camera shows